I think I'm not going to be able to... Oh, that's a very good... That is very good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get... all this stuff. Solheim node... This was the 4, right? Yeah. I don't know what this means exactly. I guess maybe it means that there's 6 nodes and it's just sort of a fancy thing and there's not really any particular reason that it's split up into 2 parts, but I could be wrong. Alright, first things first. Gonna go deliver this data. Blink out of dark, instaccato rhythms. Snaky shitheads, he's snaky. Oh, great. Pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip over loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Monitor, pale list of information, leaning closer, looking for links and data. Table filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Names? Okay, yes. What kind of names? I don't... Solheim have an issue. I don't know. But assume Solheim because... That's what I've been giving for you. Bingo. All these from the old data you brought in. All employees. I mean, it could have been something completely unrelated. And this one. This is Snaky Shithead. Snaps. Ardenhurst. Who's Harden? That is the thing. There just so happens to be a Hardenhurst in Havenage. It's free action. Are you sure? Well, that's where you might be able to help me. Just think about it. Decades ago, Harden worked on this station as a senior strategic operations executive. I see. Our Harden was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Harden shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back to Solheim. How do you know this? Grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Where I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked in Solheim ships. They breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Fang's voice rises as he speaks, and the work that paid for that existence, cycles of heart extraction, felt Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot, anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going. Still here. Crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. Survived the revolution. Surely it can't be him. Who knows? So we're gonna find out. Now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back in the eye from here. Might be born of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Pardon, Thing is, I don't have access to those systems. Shipyard's crew is pretty paranoid. They don't like anyone from systems digging around their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. That's where this little creation of mine came in. Ripper worm. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. Getting into the compound might be tricky, but you have ever remote access. If you can't extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them around their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network. What's in it for me? Not enough. Find the information, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Anything the worm gets, it'll send back. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. Okay, this is more work than I thought it was going to be. Which I was kind of expecting, honestly, but that's okay. Well, let's see. For one thing, Havenage offices. Oh, so I'm sorry. I guess Keynode. That does not work. Okay, cool. Thing is that this is kind of up to chance, right? I actually am really kind of limited in like Havenage agents, and I guess these might have random numbers, and they might be as high as like a 4. Like, okay, when I have a 6, a 6, a 5, and a 5, and then a 4, it's obvious that, like, yeah, I will gladly use burn a 4 to, you know, get them datas, but definitely not the craziest thing. Well, I guess I'll use this just to, cause, yeah. I'll burn my 6s here. Because I don't have a +1. And then I will, I'll use the 5s on the engineering stuff back at the unit assembly. Squeeze into the office at the entrance yard, you lay out everything. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on old writing slate. Seb drone scan fills small terminal. Spectrum of colors. Heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled print out from the office's ship registry lies beside them. Synthetic paper so thin it is almost transparent. Look at the monitor. Reactor failure. This is the verdict. This is the verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps on the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship shown in section, blotches of color markings, the approximate damage the ship sustained. Blood red rose, radiating, catastrophic failure, driver core leading to a fatal hull breach. Well-documented failure, likely brought out by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rows of the reactor. You are looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. Looking at it because it is troubling you. But you aren't looking at the road. I see. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winterlight before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configuration of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified. Parts replaced with inventive configurations. The new retrofitted into the old. Handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was somebody's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. Also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded, to disguise the change. But they are there. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winterlight. The gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. Tells you the story of a ship, one that rarely stayed on the station more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages, kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles, got little rest. Old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. Reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winterlight, and this was its story. Reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. I'm sorry, a reactor failure preceded. So, entry into the ship, and then somebody sabotaged it and blew it up. Okay, that makes sense. And it seems like it's probably a smuggler ship, potentially. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It's a little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winterlight had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments. Armored Airwald. Let's see. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. Details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Ship mined ROMs, shimmer cryo, chain codes, and then the final entry, passenger sleeper. Try not to think about it, what it was like arriving here. Cold so long ago, half frozen in the freight container. Has the sleeper been smarter, luckier? How would they convince the Winterlight a smuggler ship if you ever saw one to extract them from Essenarp? Luckier, you laugh. There have been no remains found in any of the Winterlight's compartments. You checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. Hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you found in the compartment. A parting gift from Essenarp. Well, it won't go to waste now. Put it in your back pocket. Put it back in your pocket. Oh, shit! The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard? 2, one after the other? That feels wrong. And you see the thumbprint again, mark of someone trying to get in, someone who entered the Winterlight with precision and speed. When they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. Thought of the person makes you shiver. Suddenly, Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment notes you have assembled. What is all this? You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? Drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly. Where's the ship from? Leave this alone. Know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. This is the last thing I need. Who's bringing you these ships? Why are you asking? Looking to get us both killed? We cut these things up, that's our part. Their part is something I don't want to know. I've given, turns back to you the heat map of the reactor. Failure reflected in that's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. There's plenty others who would have sold you on. Turned you in. But not me, no. I know. Look, you've helped me too. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you're after. I can't work here anymore. I need the work. There's plenty of work to be had on the Eye. Salvagers need offloads in the Rotunda. Yatagan are always looking for crew. Not the only one. I'm not the only show in town. As the lights on the monitor dies. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Someone killed that ship and its crew. And you want to meet them? We're done here. Dark. You wish for a moment you could see his eyes. Meet them. Maybe then he would understand. Holds the door for you. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. Well, shit. Damn, fellow traveler, find a gift from someone like you, hidden away. Yeah, no, that's, damn. Well, I do think... that saving my point for this might be pretty worth it, but honestly, I could kind of see anything. Icebreaker would also be nice, but that's whatever. Oh, so is he... Yeah, he is just out of the picture now. Oh, okay, and that... I guess this also confirms that yes, this is the thing I can do. I'm probably gonna wait until I have like until my stability is about to go over to 3. I think that's probably the most sensible thing. It's a tough one. Let's see. Things keeping your eyes on new arrivals too. That's a tough one.